Hello guys and welcome back to Brick Artemis. My name is Rob and today we are going to talk about the top 5 reasons to Lego. Whether it's collecting, building, playing, communicating with, we're going to talk about all that. So let's go ahead and get started, but before we do, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so that you can see when the next videos come out and hit that notification bell. Let's go ahead and get started. So, I think it's important for people to understand why other people in their, whether it's their generation, older or younger, Lego, why they collect it, why they play with it, why they build Lego. And I think it's important so that we're not just considered like nerds or, just these crazy outcasts. I think a lot of people who are into certain things like that, whether it's gaming or really into movies or, collecting toy figures or Lego, it's important to kind of be like, hey, there's a reason for all this. And to me, there are 5 major reasons to get started. And the first one would be, honestly, it's fun. That's the first one we're going to talk about, is how fun it is. It's fun in the fact that every step that you take in building a Lego set is one step closer to what it is going to look like from the box. I think that is so much fun to build let's say, the Home Alone house, for example. As I was building that, I noticed that I didn't know what I was building at the time. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is the microwave. Cool. Or this is a booby trap. And you don't really see that. I mean, you see the picture, what it's going to end up being, but I don't like looking at that. I mean, some people do. And sometimes in the picture, I'm just like, oh, it's a square or a certain shape. And then when you make it and you push the little button on the gadget that you created, it's like, oh, wow, this is so clever. This is so much detail on this. And I think that is fun in itself. Not only that, but it's fun in the fact that just shopping with friends or by yourself and getting ready for the next Lego set of your choice to have. And it's fun to show off, and it's fun to play with as you're building and after you're building. There's a lot to do with Lego. You can play with the minifigures. You can put the minifigures in different Lego sets. For example, you can put the MCU characters and Central Perk from Friends, the coffee shop, and make it look like they're having a meeting at Central Perk. Or you can have Wanda and Vision living in the Home Alone house. There's just certain things that are a lot of fun. There's, Lego photography that people do on Instagram and that I'm kind of bad at. But there's just a lot of things that you can do to make it fun for yourself, even as an adult, but even more so as a kid. And I think showing off your Lego sets as a kid or an adult is a lot of fun too, because you put a lot of work in it, and it does cost money. So when something does cost money like that, there has to be a reason why you're willing to spend $50, $100, $200, $300 on these Lego sets. And you have to have reasons as a kid, especially, to tell your parents why you want this, why you need this. And I think that is very important to let them know that it's fun, which leads to something else, which is going to be our number 2. The second reason why you should build Legos, buy Legos, is investment. It's a huge investment. So for example, if you buy a Lego set for $50, when it retires and it's no longer on the shelves, you got about twice the amount that it is now worth in your lap, especially if you didn't open up the box. So, for example, if I go to buy a $100 Lego set and to build, and I buy a second one, not to build, a couple years down the road, that $100 set might end up being worth $180, $280, maybe even $500. So what a huge investment. There are Lego sets going for $1,000 right now that you could have bought for $200 to $300 just a few years ago. So it's a huge investment game. If you are into collecting, I know a lot of people collect so that they can just have it, but a lot of people also collect to invest. And so if you're in that investment game, believe it or not, Lego is huge. And you don't have to worry about Lego as much as you do, for example, like Funko Pops or Beanie Babies or something like that a lot of people like to compare. Because Lego's been around for forever. And they don't play that game where they just throw out anything and everything in your face. No, they stick to their game plan, and they only put a certain amount out each year. And it's not just like throwing up in your face and here's more, here's this franchise, here's that franchise. No, they do a really good job, and it really helps with the investment game. So yeah, I mean, that's a huge part, especially for adults. This one's not so much for kids, but if you do have kids and you do buy them a set, maybe you can teach them a little something too. Obviously, you don't want to teach a 5-year-old or 8-year-old how to do all this stuff. Maybe you do, I don't know. But, if they're like 12 years old, be like, hey, let's buy 2 of the Sonic the Hedgehog Green Hill Zone. See what happens 2 years down the road. Now, you have those people that get a little upset about that, especially when there's deals like Black Friday and stuff, but honestly, like, it's the same thing I say about like a PlayStation 5 or something. If someone goes to the store and is able to pick up the PS5 and buy it for the retail price or the Lego set or on a deal, because of Black Friday deals, and they sell it for either that price or maybe even a little bit more later on down the road, it is giving it to somebody that was not able to get to the store that exact minute of the day. So it does give them the opportunity because they're the ones that are choosing to buy it from you. And it gives them that opportunity to get it even if it is a little bit more money. And not only that, but for Legos, it's kind of like, hey, I'm new to Lego, or hey, I missed out on that Lego set. And there was this one Lego set that came out 5 years ago and I'd really love to get it. Well, it costs more money now because it's no longer on shelves. So people want to go and backtrack and get everything Star Wars, or get all the Harry Potter sets, or all the Lord of the Rings sets, Batman. So it's a huge investment game. It's something that I would 100% recommend. I don't do it with all my sets. I don't go out and buy 2 just to have one, but there are some sets that I am not willing to open because I know that they are retiring soon, and so I bought one just to see what happens a few months down the road or a year down the road, and be able to sell a set that I bought for $40 and then sell it for $100 down the road, or $150 to get something that is new coming out at that following year. So number 2, not that it's better than having fun, but the second one that we're talking about on our list is investment. So far we have because it's fun and it's an investment. So let's move on to the next one. All right, guys, next on our list is creative thinking. So this is more for the kids out there in the world or the parents out there in the world that are trying to get their kids to be more creative, or a kid to tell their mom or dad, like, hey, it will make me more creative, and I'm an artist, and I like, and the reason I say that is because you don't just have to buy the Lego sets. Now, if you buy an actual set, and you can be creative with that as well, you can make it your own and kind of add something to it or switch it up a little bit without following the instructions. Or like I said earlier in the video, you can, put minifigures in different sets and all that kind of stuff. But something else that Lego does is they have like a Lego box, or where all these different Lego pieces, different shapes and sizes are in, that you can actually create your own Lego set, or your own Lego city, or Lego farm, or something like that. And it's really good for a child to be creative, and I think we can all agree on that. It helps develop their mind and be more creative in the future, because it really does work as your mind is growing. So I think that is very important. I'm not going to go into the medical term of it all, but it really is true to be a kid and to be able to be creative and use your imagination and bring it into reality, even if it is just Lego. That's very important. It's cool to see your kid do that too. So, and also goes back to fun. having fun with your kid on being creative with your kid. So I think that's really important, not just to be creative as a child, but using that art and using that imagination with a parent or a brother or a friend or a sister. So it really does go a long way. You can just learn so much from Lego, and it really does go on to the future, whether you want to be an architect or a veterinarian. Either way, you're going to have an imagination, and for the future of your own family later on down the road, or people that you meet, or other art that you're into later on in life, such as drawing, painting. So I think it really goes a long way to let your child, or even as an adult, yes, to learn to be more creative within yourself, and to express something is very important as well. So let's move on to the fourth. So the fourth reason we're going to talk about today on why Lego is so important for you to start with or to carry on with is it's a stress reliever. Yes, stress relief is the fourth on my list. It's actually probably the most important one if I were to make a top 5, actual one being the best reason, but I'm not doing that. But this one here, stress relief, is 100% the greatest thing for me personally. If you have a lot going on in your life, especially as an adult, or whether it's work or stuff going on personally, or you're just down, it really does help your mental state to focus on something else, whether it's following instructions, being creative, or just having fun. It clears your head to have music on in the background, or a movie or something with noise softly in the background, or just playing peaceful and quiet, and building these Legos and seeing what the outcome is, and being excited, getting one step closer. It really does go a long way to get your mind off of, even if it's just getting your mind off of sports, like a football game or something that, your favorite team lost, or something so small, to get your mind out of the gutter and to really just be peace with yourself. Because even if you're missing a piece or something, really nothing can go wrong. Lego does a really good job at talking about missing pieces, at shipping you a piece that's missing, or if you just go to your Lego shop, you can get a piece real quick. It doesn't happen often either. So, but it does make me a little stressed when I'm missing a piece. That's kind of defeating the whole stress relief thing, I guess. But it really does help if you get a big Lego set, or even a small Lego set, on relieving that stress and making your mental state more of a happy one. Even when you're at work or something the following day, it's kind of nice to just think about, okay, when I get home, I'm going to sit down, have a cup of coffee or some tea, whatever shift you work, and do some Lego building. Or it's a huge stress reliever when your kids are running around too, if you have children and they're causing havoc, and you just kind of sit them down, calm them down, and build Legos together. And it's kind of a, it really does help with communicating with your children and having that memory with your child or your wife or your partner, your buddy, or anything like that. So it really is a huge just weight off your shoulders, relaxed. If you haven't tried it, if you haven't used Lego for stress relieving, I suggest you try it. Put some soft music on in the background, bringing up the Home Alone house again. I had the Home Alone music playing. So it was kind of just very peaceful listening to the soundtrack of Home Alone. Batman, for example, is another one. I'm working on the Batwing right now. So focusing on what you're building and going into that world really helps. The same way a book does or something, to kind of get your head out of the real world for a minute. And then once you get back into the real world, you're a little bit more calm. You're more relaxed about the situation. So it's kind of like if you took a nap or something. So I highly recommend highly suggest you use Lego building for stress relief. So the last thing we're going to talk about today, the fifth thing we're going to talk about today on 5 reasons why to Lego, is it really helps attention span, especially for kids. And, the reason that is because when you're so little, you're learning how to read instructions, or you focus on one thing. So when you do that, it might only be for 5 minutes at a time at first. But as soon as you're getting more into it, it starts to kind of develop, and get your attention span becomes better and better and better as you go. So a big thick book, of instruction pamphlet or instruction book for Lego sets, is a huge accomplishment, especially for children. So to grow that attention span can lead to growing your attention span in the school, in class, in your workplace as you get older. And I think there are other things, entertainment in the entertainment world that can kind of go with that as well. I think honestly, video games really do help your attention span. I think a lot of entertainment stuff, toys and movies and really help your attention span and help your development. So, a lot of people think Legos are just toys, but it's instructions. You're building something, and you're learning how to build something, and you're learning how to follow instructions, and you're learning the step-by-step process. And I think that is extremely important to get your kids started in. So yeah, all of these reasons are great, but it doesn't always help with the price points. I get it. You don't want to buy a child or yourself a $300 set or a $200 set. Start low. See what it does for you. See if these 5 things that I've talked about, 5 reasons to Lego, really work for you, and you really understand that. Because if you do, or if they do work for you, and you do see and understand that more and more as you continue to Lego with cheaper sets, $10 sets, $20 sets, one day you'll get to the bigger sets, and you're going to be like, wow, just the accomplishment of getting it done is a stress reliever, is fun, is a huge accomplishment. And it really makes you feel good. It really helps you breathe. And, there's a lot of joy that comes out of that. And to be able to sit that on your shelf, or play with it, or show it off, or just walk into your own little collectible room or your man cave, so to speak, and see your Lego sets that you put together, whether it's by yourself, with your kids, with your friends. You have those memories, but you also have the accomplishment, and it looks awesome. So let me know what you guys think. What are the main reasons why you Lego? Put it down in the comments for me so that other people can see those reasons too, because I think it's really important, especially for adults who never Lego, to kind of understand why it's important to get their children into this field, and why it might be important even for, let's say, somebody had an accident or something happened, whether it's a car accident and they got to stay at home. And think about if they can't walk for a little while, or if they had a stroke or something like that, what it can do for them, with all these reasons that I've explained. And, there's just so many reasons to Lego. These are only 5 of them. And, it's kind of like puzzles, it really helps with the mind. And I think it's just really important going back to that. So again, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What has it helped you with the most? And are you going to go out and buy a Lego set? If so, which one? Please like and subscribe, guys. It really does help the channel. I really want to keep going on with this with you guys and get to know the community and grow. So that helps out a lot. And until next time, have a good one and go Lego.